welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and leave a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach in beautiful Las Vegas, joined by Johnny Venerable. Hey, baby.
Hey, beautiful Maricopa says hello, but it actually smells like cow manure where I live. So I'm soup jealous that you're live from the Excalibur off of a brutal ASU loss that we haven't had a chance to talk about on air yet. But I won't pick at the wound too much today because U of A carrying the load for old PHNX coverage right now. Sun Devils not looking hot. Looking into a long off season as you have to talk yourself into ASU football here this coming fall.
Yeah, I'm not super excited for much of anything, really.
You got your quarterback leaving you, going to LSU, probably going to win a Heisman. You have your basketball team, who's
I don't even know if he gets the starting job, but yeah.
The ultimate tease of winning 7 of 8 to end the season, and then you go into the tournament red hot and blow just that awful second.
So you can tune into the PHNX Sun Devils podcast. We did a post-game show. I'm not going to talk anymore about this. Let's get into our betting stuff. Johnny, how was your week?
No, I've struck a nerve.
Yeah, we already covered this. It was depressing and sad, and that's about all I'm going to say about it. Johnny, how was your week betting-wise?
Wow,
did you have a good week
until my co-host just snapped at me. We are gearing up for NFL free agency. I was in a good mood, and now I'm incredibly pissed off and just want to get to my picks and get off of this GD show. No, I've been fine. I've been fine. Let's just move on.
Oh my goodness, there's some tension here. I didn't come at you. I just don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, you came at me. I was trying to give the people some insight into us talking a little ASU. But let's talk about the other contenders here in the Pac-12 tournament.
Because
there are some teams left.
The picture of Johnny slapping me. That's what just happened.
That's what I want to do right now. Slap in the face.
Well, yeah. So there is U of A almost blew it yesterday.
They did.
And we will talk about Stanford for a second. So I did say before we came to Vegas, if Stanford beat ASU, which ended up happening, and then they went on to beat U of A, I was going to jump off the stratosphere. And Spencer Jones, like with a bungee jumping cord. And Spencer Jones, decided that he wanted me to jump off the stratosphere. And unfortunately, he wasn't able, or fortunately, he wasn't able to get there. And U of A ended up winning that game barely. But it was really entertaining. But the biggest thing is Kirk Kriisa, starting point guard for the University of Arizona. Looked like he turned his ankle pretty bad, and they're saying he's obviously probably not going to be back for the rest of the tournament, but he might miss a couple games, if not the rest of the year, for the conference tournament. So that's not the best news. They have Colorado today, who looked pretty good against Oregon, but Will Richardson's not playing for Oregon. And then you got USC and UCLA. So the top 4 seeds are moving on in the Pac-12 tournament, and I have a couple picks for those. So why don't we go to mine really fast? I like USC +6. I think UCLA isn't playing its best basketball, and I think USC, who I think is kind of a little bit fraudulent, really is determined to make some noise and win this whole damn thing. And if they match up against Arizona, I think it'd be a close game. And then obviously I like Arizona -10. They got blown out by Colorado in Colorado. They're embarrassed about that, and they also want to show the world that without Kirk Kriisa, it doesn't matter. They have the Naismith Player of the Year, who was just named as a semifinalist, and Benedict Mathurin on their team. So I'm taking them -10 as well. And then moving on to the NBA, I like the Timberwolves tonight -7. Johnny, what do you think about these two games happening in Las Vegas tonight?
Well, I think that you mentioned it. Colorado's been playing exceptionally well. I mean, Stanford looked as good as any team in that first half yesterday against U of A. And if they had progressed further in the tournament, I probably would have picked them to win it outright because, momentum's a real thing. I do think U of A will be able to withstand the injury, but not beyond the Pac-12 tournament. If he misses significant time in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, even as a 1 seed. So Saul was watching the game live as we were doing PHNX Cardinals. And after the game was over and after our podcast was over, he was a little dejected because of that injury. So it is a little bit of a buzzkill. Hopefully he can come back, but I think U of A takes care of business. Their depth has been too key all year. The Pac-12 in general is not great, so I think they'll outlast the remaining field.
Yeah, Kirk Kriisa is a guy that I should hate with passion. Yeah, I love watching him play. He's just such a little asshole. It's so fun. Something about like foreign basketball players that are mean just gets me going. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Johnny, what do you like in the NBA tonight?
So I'm going heavy NBA tonight because I think this is a loaded slate, beginning first with the Suns taking on a Raptors team that's been playing respectable as of late, but the Suns are hitting on all cylinders with Devin Booker coming back. I've got a little tasty prop in this game here in a minute, but I just think the Suns keep their foot on the gas. And then we also saw video from our own Gerald at PHNX Suns at practice today. It looks like Chris Paul has begun shooting. You talking about it? That'll be a lift up for this Suns team, although he's not going to play tonight, of course. This team is almost back to full strength, and you absolutely love to see it. And then Pelicans are playing really good basketball. And right now you can get them plus 2.5 at home hosting the Hornets. With CJ McCollum, we've got my guy Zion, who's creeping around the building. I'm not going to make a buffet joke. I think they take care of business now. I like the Pelicans money line. So if you can get that right now, jump on it. And then lastly, I have bet the Lakers for the last time this year. When you were out earlier this week with Espo, I talked about how the Lakers were going to crush the Rockets. LeBron had ample time off. Remember, he took Sunday's game off, and they got embarrassed. And LeBron got turned around. I'm sure you've seen that clip that's gone viral, Shane, of him trying to defend the half court. The Wizards are going to destroy the Lakers tonight. Take the Wizards money line if you've got the cojones for it. It's a Kyle Kuzma revenge game tonight in LA. I can't wait to see just the dirt fraud crowd in Los Angeles tonight hosting a Wizards team that right now has a better record than the Lakers, albeit in the Eastern Conference. You just absolutely love to see it. This is it. What's today? March 11th. This is the last day that I ever talk about ever betting on the Lakers again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, good thing the DraftKings Sportsbook app promo isn't anything in the NBA, so you won't have to bet on the Lakers if you are a new member. Right now, you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use that promo code PHNX, and bet just $5 on any team to win their game in the conference championships or just the conference tournaments. Get $200 and free bets if they win. It's just that simple. If they win, you win this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. But also, you can do your same game parlays in the NBA and whatever else tickles your fancy when it comes to sports betting. What? Tickle? It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw cash whenever you want. So download it today. Use that promo code PHNX, bet just $5 on any college basketball team in the conference tournaments. Get $200 in free bets. If they do win, you win with promo code PHNX this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That's 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Minimum $5 deposit required. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details. So you mentioned Chris Paul a little bit. He is trending toward playing sooner rather than later, which is strange because
love it.
Or it's not strange. It kind of makes sense for a guy like him who, puts everything into the game of basketball. And Johnny, I know you had the chance to talk about this, but there's some stuff before we get into our props in the NBA. There's a lot of stuff going all around in the NFL. And speaking of guys who take care of their body, Russell Wilson is now a Denver Bronco.
How are you? What a terrible week for you, man. I'm so sorry.
I know. I told Totri and Sean, I'm like, this is a top two of the worst days of my life, sports wise. Just tragedy. But Carson Wentz is now back in the NFC East. Trayvon Diggs taking some shots at him on Twitter. And then Khalil Mack going to the Chargers. What do you think about those three things and what's going to be the most impactful?
Russ, clearly, because we were the DNVR folks at the Combine. You walk into that division with Drew Lock or anything resembling Drew Lock, you were asked to get absolutely decimated as a fourth place team. And that's what they did. Oh, you inject all the Drew Locks in the NFC West and the Seahawks into irrelevance. Now they have Russell Wilson. Now with 7 seeds in the playoffs, they will make the playoffs. And with Russell Wilson, he's one of the greatest postseason quarterbacks of all time. If you ask me who I'd rather have with 2 minutes left in the game, I would take him over most quarterbacks, probably not named Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. So that's the most significant. The Wentz thing, the Commanders, or as I call them, the Commandos, because I'm going commando when I talk about them, you cannot find a quarterback with options that wants to go there. Russell Wilson said no. By all accounts, it sounds like Deshaun Watson didn't want to go there, assuming he gets cleared. They're not waiting for Jimmy G, so they're going to go and get a guy without options. I saw Chris Ballard speak at the Combine, and he was just crushing Carson Wentz. So it's a team that has no options going after a quarterback that has no options. And I think they'll be viable. And I think that, Terry McCollum, I think with Carson Wentz is something to watch. Carson's going to turn the ball over a lot, but I think Scary Terry's going to get his from a fantasy perspective. And then the trade yesterday, I think, is the most kind of, you have to take a deep breath and look at the grand scheme of things, because when that broke right before we did Cardinals yesterday, Khalil Mack going to the LA Chargers from Chicago, I think everybody was like, how could you not get a first round pick? That's what I said. And then they were talking about maybe the picks were next year and it was a second and a sixth. Khalil Mack hasn't had double-digit sacks since 2018. Missed a lot of time last year. His foot's messed up. He's 31.
Yep.
Say what you want about Chandler Jones. For the most part, he's been healthy his entire career. So I do think that was a position of need for the Chargers opposite Joey Bosa. That's a championship roster. If he's healthy and ready to go, I think they're going to be a trendy pick in the AFC. If you're a Bears fan, it's all about Justin Fields, but God, that Bears roster suddenly looks like they need everything. So it's Russell Wilson and then probably Wentz and then Khalil Mack. I think Khalil Mack, we're going to look back. If he doesn't have a successful season this year, it'll look like a really good trade for Chicago.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The Carson Wentz thing is funny to me because I'm a Heineke guy. I think Heineke is better than Carson Wentz. I genuinely do.
I don't agree with
that's
that.
fair. He's all reliable. He can move with his legs. And he's not as
I watched Carson Wentz go into State Farm Stadium last year on Christmas Day, ruin my Christmas. You talked about having your week ruined. I had my Christmas ruined by Wentz. And he beat the Cardinals, and that was unfortunate.
All right. Well, let's move on from the NFL and get back to our props in the NBA. Johnny, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
I love these more than I've loved any prop ever in the history of this show. Deandre Ayton tonight, plus 425 or more points. He's been on an absolute tear lately. I talked to Espo about this yesterday. He's doing the opposite of Kyler Murray. He's like, I'm just going to ball out, and that contract's going to take care of itself whenever it happens. And I think he continues to assert his will as probably, I think we're going to go into the NBA playoffs, and he's going to be the second best player on this team in the postseason, and that's how they're going to win a championship. They play a Raptors team tonight that's not great defensively, and I think he rolls in the paint in tune of plus 25. And then Kyle Kuzma out for blood. Kyle Kuzma hired mercenary tonight against his ex-team. He will expose them. Pray for everybody in that building tonight, because Kyle Kuzma and the Washington Wizards are coming for blood. I could see him going for 30 tonight and just putting on an absolute clinic. He was the biggest fraud player when he was with LA, but somehow, some way, when you're traded away for Russell Westbrook, who they're saying is the worst trade in Laker history, you just absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, I love that Kuz pick. Anytime a former player plays the Lakers, I'm a big fan. I also have a former Laker that got good after he left the roster on my pick. Can you guess who it is?
Lonzo?
No.
Is Lonzo hurt?
We'll pull up my props.
Okay.
Julius Randle. Over 38.5 ERA.
I not guess that.
What happens in Vegas, leaves Vegas and goes to New York for some money. Give me that all day. I'm definitely going to
place Karl Anthony Towns, bro. Today.
And then give me I know. I
hate both of these picks so much.
Why do you hate Julius? Julius has been picking it up. He's been picking it up. He's also got the Grizzlies tonight. Who
the Grizz?
The
we're rooting for them to lose, right? Or we're not rooting for them to lose?
It doesn't really matter. No one's really close to the Phoenix Suns. But the Grizz are a team that everyone gets up for because they're young and they're number one in Dally's power rankings, which just doesn't make sense to me. But then I hate Cat as much as the next guy. Trust me. But they got the Magic tonight. I think he goes for like 28 and 12. And easily surpasses that 36.5 points and rebounds. So give me both of those combined stats. Johnny, you look like that guy that is big on TikTok with his hat sideways, and I don't know what his name is, but you look like him.
The kids know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not on TikTok.
Anything else, Johnny?
Yeah, you can check out gophnx.com. We are going to have a flurry firestorm of exclusive premium content as it relates to NFL free agency and the Arizona Cardinals. You can't get it anywhere else, let me tell you. Beginning today, PHNX Cardinals Live, 3 p.m. Myself, the GM, Saul Bookman. The floodgates open.
Not right now.
They will be fast and furious, heavy and ready for you to consume at gophnx.com. You can check us out as well at PHNX Sports on Twitter. We're going to have emergency pods that I'm just really going to prioritize over this little show. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you try to get a hold of me next week, it is going to be locked on with the Arizona Cardinals, PHNX Cardinals, that is.
Johnny,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry.
that was so damn mean.
If we can talk NFL next week on this show, I want to do that.
Before we get out of here, it is a Friday. So we have to make our DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. And mine is Arizona minus 125 to win the Pac-12 tournament. I don't know why they're almost at even money. Maybe because of the Kirk Reese injury, but I'm taking that all day, taking that to the bank. That is my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Johnny, do you have one?
Can you give me 1 hot minute on the app here?
So if you heard me just scream, it's because the housekeeping tried to come into my room.
Housekeeping? You want mental pillow?
I wasn't going to say anything, and then I realized if you don't say anything, they assume you're not there, so they're just going to come in and see me staring into a
I'll tell you what matchup I like.
What do you like?
Duke -9 against Miami after they shit the bed
Coach
K's retirement ceremony at Camden or Cameron or whatever it is. God, that was just the biggest embarrassment. Yeah, the biggest embarrassment.
Miami's lines are also just ridiculous all the time. I think Duke wins by 20.
Yeah, the money line's minus 425. Yeah, that will be a bloodbath slaughter. All of those players have had ample time to think about how they just basically shit the bed for their coach. So -9. That's my DraftKings Sports app pick of the week.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in as always. Follow me on Twitter at Shane Deep, but also follow PHNX _Sun Devils and PHNX _Wildcats because we got some content coming out. I'll tell you what, we got some fun stuff planned for tonight and tomorrow. You don't want to miss. Another Shane and Sean shit show will come out coming here soon. We're going to go to Fremont Street and talk to some drunk people. It's going to be a good time, so keep tuned in right here at PHNX Sports. You can follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX _Bets. And we will be back on Monday at noon. Peace.